How can we use the page variable to enforce user input in Business Central? I have defined a code unit and a page customer card, a record customer page, and we do have a my model custom page that we'll use later on. But for now, the customer, we are just finding the last record. It has got several methods, the page variable, and it's simple. You just say, similar to how we have defined a customer card and the my model page, you can define several other pages in a similar format. This gives us access to several methods that we can leverage on, like run report, set caption, activate caption, close, editable, get record, lookup mode, object ID, run model, save record. All these methods can be used once we have been able to set the record. So let's look at the behavior of the page, and of interest today is the model, because the model acts like a confirmation. One, the user is blocked off from doing any other thing until they select or reject the input that is expected of them as at that time. So when you look at this example here, we have the on before run model, then we run the model, then we have the on after run model. We want to look at the behavior, and then we clear the customer card, then we set the table view, we on before run and then on after run. So we want to see what happens in all these scenarios. Let's go. So we're going to run this particular solution and be able to navigate and see what we can be able to do. And the main target of this video is to prevent user input, to prevent the user from, or to enforce the user from doing something, or rather maybe clicking on a particular button or object, a page action, for that button is the only one that they are allowed. And this, we could be running a process, for instance, in between a process, we need some input from the user. So which is the best way? We always should consider a model, and the best way to get an input from the user is using a page, because it has got fields, variables. You can even set a global variable that has been defined on that particular page. So meaning that a page would be the best. But again, if the page is not used properly, the user might not give that information to you that is needed in between the process, and it might not work as expected. That's why we have this kind of configuration. And we have an instance of the page, and we want to see the behavior of either the behavior of the run versus the behavior of the run model.
Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
So here we are. So what I've done also is set the code unit to be in the job queues, so I can be able to test the code unit in the job queue entries real quick. Still loading, getting ready. So in the job queue entries with the code unit, you have the ability to run once in the foreground. So a job queue ideally will iterate or give you the ability to schedule the job queue to run at different intervals of time automatically. So this is a system ability to automatically run. But with the run once in the foreground, it's where you click it and you're able to run it once in the foreground. So let me go to my job queue entries. There we are. We have this code unit that is on hold at the moment. So if I say run once in the foreground, it means that I'm creating a temporary something there, and I'm able to execute this job queue. So okay, on before run model, this is the method it's enforcing, but you can see on the background, it hasn't prevented the customer model from coming. We can be able to see the recloud customer model already running. and displaying for us. So let me close this because we're in the find last. Automatically now it's displaying, but it had blocked off any other thing. But the model is, there's nothing running. The next message that should display is not here. The job queue has not said it has run successfully, so it means it is still in process. It is the job queue is in process and hasn't run successfully. So I go ahead and close this page. So once I close the page, what happens? Wait. So on after run model. So we are in the on after run model of the page. But you see again with the message, we already have the customer card displaying, meaning that this code, as at this point, it's already it's already at a position where it has moved to the next step. That is, it is somewhere here. It's already run the customer card and it's here already. Okay, so it's on before run, on after run. So let's now begin. The only thing that was preventing the visibility of the page from the other side is the on before run model. Then on before run is here. The page is already displaying. The message is not changing anything. On after run is there. The model is the one that is enforcing only. And then the job queue has finished executing. So it is already done. Even though the page is still displaying here, we can still do some things with the page. The code has gone ahead and finished. So it means if there is some feedback that was needed, it wasn't stopped as at the model stage. It went on and finished executing the job queue. So that's what the model gives us. What alternative do we have? What can we do? Can we also be able to prevent the user from closing the page? And that's what I've created. I've created another page known as my model page. So the page contains, it is still reading the source table as customer. It has got the normal fields like a general group, area content, and then there's a number field, address field. Then now in the processing area of the of this particular page, we do have a position where we can have now our processing. So we have requested the user input, but we need to enforce them to maybe click close or process. So our processing logic comes here. We make sure that something like run test failed. Then we say that this is system initiated, and then we close the page. So on close page, but of course on query close page, this is the action that returns the. So this runs when the page closes after the on query close page. So this on query close page runs when a page closes before the on close close page trigger. So this one will literally close the page. So the page will be closed from here, but on the on query close page will prevent the page from closing, because there is an option to say, so if it's system initiated, then we say we close it, else we say the closing is not allowed. And the system initiated is actually run from somewhere where system initiated. In the action here, we say it's true. So when it comes and finds it's system initiated, it means we can close. Otherwise, it will prevent from closing the page. And the same case, we have done everything here. We can be able to maybe pick the customer record, and once we have the customer record, we can say this model page dot set record to the customer again, and then we run the model from this scenario. We have the model running. Then in this case, we explicitly say that we want our page to be closed in which way, or which, this is the way, the page dot run model. So let's test the system as we close. There are many other good things with using the page, with having the ability to define a page in a variable. But the most that I've benefited from is the run model. And also, if you're using a standard dialog and you need to pre-populate parameters before you open the page, the life cycle of the page will be valid. You can say maybe my page dot set variables, okay, set customer name. So this one you can set the customer name with the global variable or global function in your page, And by the time the page is running, your variable will still be valid. So you can set the value, different dynamically set values on the page and be able to do that. And in a similar way with how the copy function is done, or what else is done like that? When you're doing multiple copying that needs the user input, you want to copy, maybe you need to select how many numbers, number of copies do you need if you need to copy a page or something, or copy a record. It's a good way of using that particular feature. So again, we are running the foreground, we process. Oh, this one will close. Boom. Let's see. I think I have a breakpoint. So so here it is. So we are testing the field. So we are assuming that this is our processing logic that is going on. Then we close the page. So when you close the page, it goes on into the on query close page, and we say that this is system initiated, this is true. So it will definitely go and close the page. It is closing the page, then we can proceed. So the close action has different options. If we can say the close action. If the close action is in cancel, okay, yes, we exit false, or not, we exit. Okay, exiting false, meaning you shouldn't close the page. So at this point, the job queue has successfully processed. So let me test again when we try now to close the page using other methods. So it should refuse. So it is saying closing the page is not allowed, guys. Like, it's not allowed to close this page. Closing the page is not allowed. You can have a different message, but this is explicitly making the user to process. They can't close, they can't exit, and this is the only window that they can click, and it's a good control, especially in between a process. That's it for this video on the page variable. I'll see you in the next video. May God bless you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.